everybody. My name is Drew White. I'm the Director of Operations for Access LaPorte County, and along with me is LaPorte County Clerk Heather Stevens. In the news recently, you may have heard that you might be experiencing something a little bit different on Election Day this coming November. Voting centers have been introduced in LaPorte County, and we are very excited about it. It is a change that is going to simplify things, make things a lot easier for the voters, and I know that you are very excited about it, Heather.
Very. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
So one thing that we want to stress to everybody that has done early voting in the past, whether it be over here at 8th and Wabash or in LaPorte at, I believe, State Street Church,
yes.
I believe. If you have done early voting, you have basically participated in a vote center previously.
Exactly.
All of the operations, everything that you will have gone through at the early voting is exactly what you are going to be experiencing at the vote center. We are actually coming to you from the NECA IBEW Community Services Building, which is where Access LaPorte County originates, and it just so happens that NECA IBEW Community Center, the gymnasium we're standing in right now, is one of 8 voting centers in Michigan City.
Correct.
So what we are going to do today is we are going to do our best to simulate exactly what you will be experiencing if you come to a voting center on Election Day. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. So the first stop when you reach the voting center will be to go to the check-in and to check in with the poll clerk. Today our poll clerk is being played graciously by Angela Hensman, who is the chairman of the Democratic Party here in LaPorte County. Full disclosure, Alan Stevens, the chairman of the Republican Party, was supposed to be here, but unfortunately Heather had some other work that he had to do, so he was unable to be here today. But Angela, I want you to thank you for coming in and
Thanks for having me.
playing the role of a poll clerk. So the first thing you will do is you will hand your identification to the poll clerk.
Great. Thank you. We're going to scan your ID. All right. You can take your ID back. All right, is your address still the same?
Yes, it is.
All right, very good. All right, to accept. I'm going to need your signature.
Okay. Okay.
And thank you very much. All right. I'm just going to print this lovely ticket. We'll go to our judge.
Okay, thank you. Now, Kevin Harmon, who is a cameraman here at Access LaPorte County and also our sports information coordinator, who has worked in the polls over the years, is acting as the voting center judge. The judge will take you over to the voting booth. And one thing that I think that it's important to say at this point, one of the big complaints I think people have had about this entire process is they believe that votes go out over the internet. This particular portion of the process, this is connected to the internet in order to make sure that people are actually registered to vote and that they have not voted already. So this particular process is connected to the internet, and that is the reason why, is because you have to know that someone is registered and you have to know whether they have already voted. Correct, Heather?
Correct. The electronic poll books, which is basically, it's an iPad, this is connected to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Your voting machines, and I'm just going to keep on preaching this,
Mm-hmm.
our voting machines are not connected to the internet.
Mm-hmm. Right. And when we get over to the voting booth, we're going to remind you of that again, that whatever happens at the voting booth stays at the voting booth. Kevin's going to take us over to the voting booth now.
Okay. All right, we'll come over to the machine and put the vote card in, bring the ballot. precinct, select precinct 3, precinct for full ballot. Thing to do when you make your vote selection, you hit the button alongside the arrow. And once you get to the last page, you'll say confirm vote. There's a red light to come on, press the button, your vote is cast.
Perfect.
So Kevin has given me all of the directions that I need in order to cast my vote on this machine right here. Now, again, what we were talking about in the last segment, and it needs to be said over and over and over again. What happens on this machine right here is not connected to the internet. No one is ever going to know who you voted for, in what election. What you do in this voting booth is private only to you. The only way someone else is going to know is if you tell them. Correct, Heather?
Correct.
Correct. So, again, I'm going to step up, and Kevin will have already brought up we use the word precincts, but we're not really, we don't use precincts anymore.
We still vote by precinct, but
Okay.
we're not tied to voting within the precinct physically.
Right.
So somebody from Westville could vote here.
Right.
Somebody from this precinct could vote in Westville. If you have an election this year, if your town or your city has an election, you can vote at any of the vote centers.
And I mean, what is important to realize is that if you live in LaPorte and you work in Michigan City, or you live in Michigan City and work in LaPorte, whatever voting center you can get to, you can vote at that voting center. A thing of the past is now arriving at a polling place and being told, this is not your precinct, you have to go to this location. You will be able to cast your vote at any of it is 18 polling places?
17 or 18,
17,
something like that.
Polling places. It is 17 polling places. Any of those polling places in Michigan City, LaPorte, in this cycle, Trail Creek, Long Beach, and Westville.
Yep.
Correct? So the important part is not connected to the internet in any way. And Kevin was able to give me directions on how to cast my vote. You use the buttons along the left and the right side to make your selections, and also to go to the next page. If you want to go back and see the previous page on your ballot, you can go backwards. At the end, there's going to be 2 red lights there at the top, and you will hit your red button and your vote will be cast. Heather, is there anything else that you feel is important that you want to get out there for voters?
Yes, if you are voting a straight ticket, I don't care if it's R, D, I don't care. You are still, if your municipality has at-large candidates for council, whether you're voting straight ticket or not, you need to go and select your candidates for those at-large races. Because if you're just pushing D or R, it's not going to mark the at-large candidates.
Okay.
So that's important.
So make sure in LaPorte and in Michigan City there are at-large races for City Council. Make sure that if you do happen to be choosing straight party voting, that you make sure that in those particular races you do vote for the individual, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we are hoping that this video has answered some questions that you might have. After we get done talking here, we are going to list all of the voting center locations so that you'll be able to find yours. And also, you can go to the Access LaPorte County Facebook page, or you can go to the county webpage where those voting centers are also available for you, so that you will know where you have to go on election day in order to make your voice heard. Heather, I want to thank you for participating. I want to thank Kevin for participating. I want to thank Angie for participating. I want to thank Alan for participating from afar. But again, a couple of weeks here. Very important day in Michigan City, in LaPorte, and in Long Beach, Trail Creek, and Westville. Make sure that you get out and make your voice heard. For Access LaPorte County, I'm Drew White.